Well, she's the best-selling author known for her heartfelt rom-coms, and Mindy Kaling is actually turning one of her books into a film.
Now, Uzma Jalaluddin is bringing her signature wit to the world of mystery with Detective Aunty, about a sharp-tongued widow who turns into an accidental sleuth. And Uzma joins us now. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it is our pleasure. Now, we got to talk the title. Detective Aunty. Aunty carries so much meaning in the South Asian culture. I mean, sometimes nurturing, sometimes nosy, sometimes a bit of both, always influential. What drew you to center this story around this Aunty?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Actually, I was inspired by my mother and my mother-in-law in particular. My mother-in-law immigrated to Canada in the 70s. She was a young bride, and unfortunately she was widowed quite young as well. But by the time she was widowed, she had, because she married so early, she had adult children. And so I watched this kind of transformation in her. Well, after she had finished grieving the loss of her husband, she could kind of embrace the second act that happened in her, maybe she was in her early 50s. And I was really interested in the idea of, like, specifically immigrant women who spent the majority of their early lives raising families. What do they do when their children are old and they're still young?
Now, one of the characters, Kasser, has got this incredible gift for noticing things.
That's right.
Did you base that on anybody that you knew?
Well, my mom. Okay. She always notices and never says anything. But you're right, some aunties have the reputation of being, like, very nosy and very, like, they're prying, and they'll notice, like, oh, what does that piece of clothing mean? And, like, that particular set of jewelry, you know, why are you wearing that? So I was just really kind of making fun of, but also really seeing it as sort of a disruptive force. Like, they are the secret intelligence of any community.
Okay. You've written romantic comedies before, but murder and mystery, a little new, a little different.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, the funny story is that after I wrote my first book, Aisha at Last, which came out in 2018, published by HarperCollins, I immediately want to dive into mystery because I love mystery. I grew up reading all the Agatha Christie's, like, as a child, like the Nancy Drews and Encyclopedia Browns. And then my agent said, no, your first book did well, write some more rom-coms. And so I listened to her and I wrote 4 more or 3 more. And then finally I was like, this character has been rattling around in my head for years. I need to write about Khosrow Khan.
Now, as we mentioned off the top, you're currently working with Mindy Kaling, correct? Turning one of your books into a film. Tell us about that experience and what it's been like working with Mindy.
Oh, well, it's been wonderful. My book was, my second novel, Hannah Khan Carries On, was optioned for film by Mindy and by Amazon Studios. And one thing I've learned is that Hollywood is very slow. So mostly it's been quiet, but, you know, I get the occasional update, which gets very exciting. And the latest update is that they finally found a director, and hopefully, you know, things will start rolling.
That is super exciting.
Very exciting.
Detective Aunty, who would play Aunty?
I don't know. I feel like maybe a famous actor from Bollywood might come and join Hollywood and play the role of Detective Aunty. She's a really fun character, so, you know, Bollywood, call me.
All right, well, speaking of calling, this has really been your calling, hasn't it? You, is this true, wrote your first novel at the age of 8?
Where did you? Oh, yes. You know what? Yes. It was a picture book. That's right.
Picture book.
Yes.
Okay.
It was called Icy Water's Bad Day, and it was an existential crisis of an ice cube that was swallowed and slowly dissolved in someone's stomach. So I don't know. I must have been a very depressed child, but now I write rom-coms, so I'm much happier now.
Yeah. So did you know from very early on, obviously, that this is what you were meant to do? You wanted to do was be a writer?
I definitely did. I'm a bookworm. I think most writers are, but like a lot of children of immigrants. When I told my parents I wanted to be a writer, they were like, get a day job. So I did. I'm a high school teacher.
Okay, well, there you have it. Multi-talented. And right now we have Detective Aunty. It is available now. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful.